What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week of Hero or Zero here on the Heroes for Hire podcast. My name is Shaun Meehan, and joining me as always is my partner in crime, Mr. Conor Lawler.
Hi Shaun, happy to be here, and I'm also very excited because it's another week of Hero or Zero, which means this week we get to learn another fact.
It's happened again. It's happened again, folks.
So this is Hero or Zero. This is the show where we choose one comic book character every single week. We talk their good points and their bad points, and we just give you a bit of a rundown of everything to do with that character. Now, I normally choose DC characters, and Shaun, he normally covers Marvel characters. So it is Shaun's week, which means that we're going to hear a report where he covers maybe a comic book character you haven't heard of, a little bit of a brief introduction, and maybe it's your brand new favourite character. You don't know. We've been getting loads of messages, by the way, over on Blue Sky, which if you want to follow us, we're most active over there, but people are messaging in, Shaun, and said that some of our reports meant that they went back to read issues of those characters. That's the goal, I guess, is to give everyone just a little bit of a rundown of everything to do with that character, if you will. That's an exact quote from a genius. So even like last week, I covered Michael Washington Lane, or otherwise known as Azrael. He's one of the Azraels, and people were messaging in. So that's a pretty cool report, a character that Shaun loved. So I'm expecting this week he's going to come back with an even cooler character. Well,
he's pretty cool, I think. I think you'd agree.
Does he have a sword of sin and a sword of salvation?
He doesn't have any swords.
And is his outfit called the Suit of Sorrows?
No, but it's a pretty good outfit.
Okay, look, I'll wait and see. Shaun, if it's somebody's first episode, you don't have to do anything. You can just chill out. If it's your second or above, we'd really appreciate 5 stars, a like, a follow, a share, whatever way you want to support the show. That would really, really help us out. We want to thank everyone because we reached 150 5-star reviews on Spotify before the summer solstice. It was 6 weeks early. So it was several weeks ago now. Everyone here is a legend who gave us 5 stars, and now we're in the 150s, Shaun. But that also means that there's a little segment every week on Hero or Zero now, that for every 5-star review that the listeners give us, over 150, Shaun has to come up with a fact for the summer solstice until the 21st of June. So we can just make him give us facts for at least another month. before he has to legally stop.
Yeah, it is just about 4 weeks before I can gracefully retire from this bit.
It's been going on for about a month now.
Yeah, we really hit that mark too early, didn't we?
So if anyone hasn't given us 5 stars, please do if you want to learn more facts. But Shaun, it is now time for your weekly one extra fact for the summer solstice.
Conor, I think you've played into my hands, to be honest, because what famously on this show, you hate the listeners, whereas I, man of the people.
A bold statement, but I stand by it, yes.
I've been getting listeners suggesting solstice facts.
Fuck off.
Shout out to Waffles, because here's your solstice fact for this week.
Fuck.
The Southern Hemisphere summer solstice will actually be on December 22nd, 2025. As I've just said that, I realise you could loophole that into making me do this until December.
Now that you mention it, we do have a lot more time.
Oh, I don't think there's that many facts.
So, I mean, this comes down to the fact, by the way, that this is the reason why I don't like the listeners, Shaun, and you will obviously back me up with this, is the fact that they will actively help you. And because it's like the special kid in school. like he doesn't need your help. Don't give him a bailout. He hasn't done his homework. Don't help him.
I'm like the cool teacher who smokes. You know, all the kids, they behave because they want to, you know? Because I respect them.
How do you do, fellow children?
Fellow youths.
So tune in next week for the Hero Zero segment where Shaun gives us a solstice fact. But Shaun, this might be our longest tangent ever at the start. I'm now excited to know about a Marvel character.
Conor, we've talked about this character years ago, but recently came up in the news because we got the full reveal of what they will look like in the upcoming Marvel film Fantastic Four First Steps. And so we're going to be covering Galactus.
You mean the cloud?
I'm going to open an envelope and it's a picture of me with yesterday's newspaper saying Conor's going to call him a cloud.
But Shaun, I've seen every cinematic version of Galactus and he's always a cloud.
Well, you haven't seen the trailer for Fantastic Four First Steps then, because he's a big lad
I didn't watch
in purple.
that one.
Oh, fair. Why would
I
you?
only watch the cinematic releases. I don't watch trailers.
I don't watch... Why would we? Have a whole show about movies. Don't worry about it.
So you're saying shorts Galactus from the 60s, or are we saying like planet eating Galactus?
We're doing shorts, but also planet eating. They're one and the
I suppose
same.
they're one and the same.
They are indeed. So he was born a lad named Gallon in a previous version of the universe. So the Marvel universe has gone through, I think they're on their 7th incarnation, which is after Secret Wars, which I covered in 3 parts. They remade all the universes.
I feel like after 3, we got to take it off them. If you can't keep your ties for 7 times in a row without breaking them, it's over.
One day I'll do a load of cocaine and I'll tell you every version of the Marvel universes. But that is not this day.
And Jack Kirby's probably responsible for 3 of them.
Oh, 100%, brother. It's insane. But Galactus is from the 6th cosmos. So the one before all of our Marvel stuff actually happens.
Right.
He was born on a planet called Ta, which was a paradise world whose civilization was the most advanced of its time. He was the genetically engineered son of Taya, a Scienceer Supreme. So the 5th version of the cosmos was all about magic and had a Sorcerer Supreme. The 6th version then was all about science and had a Scienceer Supreme, is what it was called.
Okay.
Due to her obligations to the planet, she was a neglectful mother, giving him very little personal contact and creating a technologically advanced crib to raise him. I just like, that's a later addition to the story. I just like how they had to give him a tragic backstory other than his universe was destroyed.
I gotta be honest with you. I'm not a fan of, you got the character that eats literal planets.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, well, I suppose his mother could have been mean to him.
His mother never hugged him, like. I
suppose that's the reason why he eats planets.
So, due to a plague called the Black Winter, the universe began dying at a rapid pace, and Ta's civilization was one of the last ones still in existence. Lethal radiation was expeditiously wiping out all life across the universe. Gallon, who was a space explorer, was dispatched to travel through the cosmos to find a means of saving the planet, but he found none. He proposed to the remaining survivors that instead of succumbing to the plague, they die gloriously by piloting one of their ships into the heart of the collapsing universe.
That's what that plan is. Wouldn't it be a laugh if we did this?
It's like, we're dead anyway, you know?
Why don't we go out with fucking ledge bags?
Didn't know Gallon was fucking rad like that.
Rock on, my dudes. Here we go, Evel Knievel style.
So as the starship containing Gallon and his fellow survivors approached the termination point of the universe, the cosmic radiation killed all of the passengers except for Gallon. That's awkward. Yeah, it's because it was his idea as well. So
yeah, he feels probably more responsible. He's like, oh, I carried that old man in here.
However, right before the universe's end, Gallon was approached by, and get on board, the sentience of the 6th cosmos.
Oh, I mean, Shaun, what's to get on board? You've just mentioned a character I've never heard of, and I'm assuming is God.
It's the physical embodiment of the entire universe.
Well, it's good to have a character like that. It really settles it down for the kids reading.
It really grounds the story a lot, you know?
You're coming home from school, you're like, can't wait to hear what the sentience thing says.
So, the sentience of the 6th cosmos merged its essence with the mortal Gallon, giving birth to a new entity who would survive beyond the end of time, henceforth known as Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds.
This is different from the Beyonders, who also exist beyond the end of the time.
But you will be fascinated to know, Conor, that the Beyonders... Okay, hang on. The Beyonders were created by the Celestials during the second universe, and then elected to not go in to the third universe, staying outside of the universal barriers.
Right, your eyes lit up there, like you just like you're telling me the most fascinating thing of all time.
You just activated the hyperfixation.
Your autism activated, and you just kicked into gear.
I know all of this.
This is Marvel. I know this stuff.
So, following a period of nothingness, the seventh cosmos was born from a big bang, and along with it came its new embodiments. So, eternity and infinity are like the new embodiments of the universe. Also,
are they represented by people, things, or are they just concepts?
People and things are also concepts.
That's the worst answer to that question ever.
Yeah, sorry. Don't mean to... I can't make it easier.
So far we've done the sentience of the sixth universe.
Yeah.
And now he's the sentience of the seventh universe, but the sentience of the sixth universe joined with Gallus, or Galen, who is Galactus. And now joined together, and then there was another big bang, and now we've got a different universe.
Yeah, now we've got the main 616 Marvel universe is what we have now.
Easy. That's seamless.
And so an incubating Galactus, so he's still in an egg at this point, ended up in
why not introduce eggs?
in this seventh incarnation. So he drifted in his starship for eons as new life came into existence across this new land. Eventually, the nascent Galactus's starship was sighted by Eke, who was one of the Watchers. Now, we've talked...
What are the Watchers, Shaun?
The Watchers are a crowd of lads in Marvel Comics.
The boys, the crew.
Yeah, and they're like an eternally living species, and they count themselves as like documentarians, that they just watch and record everything that happens so that someone is always taking note of what happens in the universe.
Is this, Steve, the most cosmic Marvel bullshit report we've ever done?
I think so. I genuinely, it's a lot.
Long-time listeners might know that there used to be a phrase we used here that was cosmic Marvel bullshit, that Marvel always, if it goes too far into space, it's always just batshit insane.
Yeah, the further out you pull, the larger lens you have on a story, the more like... The greater your suspension of disbelief has to be. And
eventually they're just going, God's there. Don't worry about it.
God shut up. Also, this guy, he's stronger God. You better believe that.
You better believe that. He's different God. So, Marvel cosmic bullshit is an old-time phrase. We haven't used it in a while, but I feel like this report is the embodiment of what we're talking about.
Oh, much like the entities that make up the universe.
No, I wasn't thinking that, to be honest.
I genuinely do want to do a hierarchy of all the cosmic beings. It's just fucked. No one would like it.
Yeah, like, I suppose, because Marvel always has the thing of, like, here's God, right? This is the number one God. And then, 2 years later, like, that God was shit. This God is the new God. But they've done that for 25 years, so there's, 20 different gods.
Yeah, they're power-scaling God.
Like, that one's God. This one's God 2.0, right?
And so... And Galactus is one of those godlike beings, and we'll get into it a little bit later on. But the Watcher that Eke, so the Watchers have this vow never to interfere, and 90% of the time that the Watchers come up in a Marvel story, they interfere.
It's their main thing.
It's their main thing. So Eke sees this starship flying across the space, and he pulled it out of space to study it because he was curious what was inside, interfering. In there,
that's literally the definition.
Like, he fully trolley problemed this. Like,
I'm just watching as I open the hatch.
Yeah,
I'm just watching.
He learned that the being inside it had power beyond comprehension and would eventually be forced to consume entire worlds to satiate his cosmic hunger for life-sustaining energy. Big hungry boy.
Oh, learned all that just from looking at him.
Realising the danger that the not-yet-born Galactus posed to the cosmos, the Watcher considered destroying the entity, who was still vulnerable due to his metamorphic state. But
it would be handier if he was called a teller, to be honest.
instead, now he decides to abide by the code of non-interference.
They've got such bullshit rules, those guys. Like, it's so ridiculous.
It's so loose. Like,
yeah, they'll interfere because we need the exposition. But then when we want the bad thing to be stopped, like, well, it's out of my hands. All I did was find out what was going to happen. That's... Look, you can't blame me. I'm the messenger.
Yeah, and so he floated... He sent him back off into space. Galactus floated for ages. And then his pod entered into an orbit around the planet Archaeopia. And he floated around there for hundreds of years. And he was just kind of gestating in this little pod-based womb for all of that time.
This is mental.
It's fucking insane. It's Marvel cosmic bullshit.
Space womb.
He's in a weird space womb. The Archaeopians did not disturb the object, but years later, a marauding space fleet approached Archaeopia, thought Galactus's incubator was a weapon, and attacked it. Right then, Galactus emerged from the incubator and with a mere gesture destroyed the entire space fleet. Second he was born, he felt immediate, uncontrollable hunger for energy.
See, he's just like me for real.
You know when you wake up and you're starving?
Oh, fuck me. If I don't have a sandwich now, I'll die.
And so he next turned his attention to the energy-rich planet of Archaeopia. Galactus immediately consumed the life energy of the planet, with only a few spaceships managing to escape in time. Over the following millennia, he constructed himself an immense home, a world ship, so a ship that's as big as a world, that he names Ta-2, after his former home world.
By the way, I've always wondered with Galactus.
Yeah.
I mean, does he unhinge his jaw?
Some of them do. Some of them are weird cosmic horror things. Others, he has a machine that just converts all matter into energy, and he just drinks.
Yeah, I suppose that's probably the more logical way to do it. But in my head, he's just standing there. He goes hum.
Big chop.
Like Homer when he goes to space.
yeah, it's that, but with several Earths.
Yeah.
So, for several billion years, Galactus only consumed planets uninhabited by sentient life forms, Archaeopia being the only exception, as that was his first time. However, as the eons passed, the intervals between his feedings decreased considerably in length, and he found himself finally needing to consume worlds inhabited by sentient races to sustain himself. He succeeded in suppressing his sympathy for other intelligent beings, who are similar in nature to how he originally was. So he's kind of stopped caring about... he used to be mortal, but now he's not anymore. And he's just I have to do this. When I die, all of this energy is going to go back out into the universe anyway.
He's going to shit it out.
He's going to shit it out. And
then he's hoping, another big bang.
Yeah, exactly. Because Galactus is aware that he is going to survive until the end of the universe. And then he just goes back into the universe and life starts again, eventually.
And I suppose he's well, they're not going to need it. I'm going to be here way longer.
Yeah.
I'm going to need it.
Exactly. He just sees it as energy at the end of the day.
Okay.
At one point in time, he threatened to consume the planet of Zenla, the homeworld of a civilized humanoid race. One of the world's inhabitants, named Norinrad, persuaded Galactus to spare the planet in return for volunteering to become his herald and search out worlds for him to consume.
And he likes one particular colour. And he likes surfing my dudes.
He's a real rad dude, hang 10 and such.
Yeah.
So he turned Rad into the Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer served Galactus loyally for an unknown length of time. Eventually, his sights were set on the energy-rich planet of Earth. It reminded the Silver Surfer of his home planet. We've all seen Fantastic Four 2. And the Surfer finally rebelled, telling Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four about it.
I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, the plot of that movie, the Silver Surfer says Jessica Alba they're exactly like his wife.
Yeah. It's my wife was also real hot.
Yeah. I was like, fair play to you.
It's always a really creepy thing in like a movie or a story. When someone looks at a woman, it's like, you remind me of my wife.
If you weren't Jessica Alba, I'd be eating this fucking planet, lad.
Yeah.
but
like, look at you.
What a coincidence. You're the one I ran into.
So the Fantastic Four thwarted Galactus with the help of another one of the Watchers who interfered by threatening to use an alien device called the Ultimate Nullifier on him.
Now, if people don't know about the Ultimate Nullifier, it's one of those things in comic books where they came up with it, and then immediately you can't ever use it again.
Because you know what the Ultimate Nullifier does, right?
I vaguely know. Yeah, if you want to have a specific thing,
what it does is it can eliminate anything that the wielder wants it to if their willpower is strong enough.
Yeah.
So you can just will anything out of existence. So, like, in Galactus's hands, he could destroy the universe if he wanted to.
Yeah, and so the idea is that, like, obviously, that's great, we can disappear Galactus, but that whole plot point, then, whenever, like, you have another villain that pops up, everyone's like, well, why don't you just make him disappear? Yeah. Just vanish him.
It's like, well, you could kill yourself as well. It's like, that's kind of a fair trade, if it's like...
Reed Richards will kill himself, the other guy, he doesn't care.
Yeah. There was this... I'm skipping ahead. Okay, I'll do this. They get the Ultimate Nullifier, they threaten Galactus with it, and Galactus was forced to vow to spare the Earth in exchange for getting the Nullifier back. He then punished the Surfer for his betrayal by erecting an undetectable energy barrier that prevented the Surfer from leaving Earth. So this is where the Surfer entered main Marvel Comics for a while.
Okay.
And Galactus, to be fair, sticks by his vow to not eat the Earth. But he still fucking hates Reed Richards.
I think if there's ever somebody that everyone hates, it's Reed Richards.
Oh, the universally hated man.
Look, I'm always on the side of Galactus and Doctor Doom. They've always been on the right side of history, Shaun. So if they don't like a guy, I'm going to be like, there's something up with him. What's the story?
So I just want to skip ahead because I'm not going to talk about this in great detail, but it's just... There's at one point that Reed Richards is given the powers of Galactus, and Reed Richards tries to starve himself so that the Galactus threat will never rise again. And it's the one noble thing that Reed has ever tried to do, but his family stopped him because they were like, no, but Galactus exists like for a reason. It just sucks that he eats planets.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I feel like just let him do it.
Yeah. It's like, oh, shit, you drew the short straw this time, I'm sorry.
But, like, it's the one good thing you've ever done, Reed. Please.
So, eventually he releases himself from his vow to Reed Richards to never again try to consume Earth by defeating a character called the Sphinx. He just, like, it just happens. I don't know how I don't know how, okay? He's released from his vow again.
Don't ask any fucking questions.
It just happens. He defeats a Sphinx, and it doesn't look like a Sphinx. Yeah. It's just a guy. He's magic.
But is he called Sphinx?
He's called Sphinx. I think he releases all bonds on Galactus or something like that. That's his...
Yeah. Well, obviously, that makes perfect sense.
You know, so during his final attempt to consume Earth, Galactus had gone so long without feeding that his energies were at the lowest that they had ever been, and he was...
Turned into a cloud.
In the Ultimate Universe, he is a cloud, if that helps.
I mean, that does help me a lot. Because in my head, that's what I'm imagining here.
And the cloud is like a fleet of ships, and it's called Galactus. It's like 3 words.
Not as fun. I just want fog. Mostly just fog.
So, because he was so weak, a large number of Earth's superhuman defenders actually succeeded in defeating him in battle. Galactus lay dying, succumbing to his own cosmic hunger. But you're going to love this.
Perfect.
Reed Richards saved his life.
Of course he did.
With the help of Thor's mystic hammer, Mjolnir. The grateful Galactus pledged his eternal friendship to Reed and sincerely vowed to never try to consume the Earth again.
Well, now I've come back to the other side of... If Reed Richards has friends like Galactus, do we want to be his friend?
Do you want to be on the... Like, if Hitler's like, hey, this is a really good guy over here.
Yeah, I give this guy a big thumbs up. I'm like, alright, hang on.
Alright,
what's the story?
The word of Hitler doesn't count for much.
What's going on here? Dr. Doom has a point.
For saving the life of Galactus, Reed Richards was put on trial by all of the alien survivors of the many planets that he had destroyed.
100%. Oh, 100%. They're like, well, dude, what the fuck?
Galactus appeared for Reed's defence.
He was his lawyer.
He's in a little suit and tie.
She-Hulk turns up for the other side.
And Eternity manifested. So Eternity is the physical embodiment of the universe. If you've seen the bad Thor, Love and Thunder, Eternity's in that weird, like, water world at the end.
Okay.
That's Eternity. It's a representation of the galaxy.
It's a concept. It's an idea. It's a being. It's whatever you need it to be.
Exactly. And so Eternity manifested, confirming to all present the importance and necessity of Galactus in the universe as the balance between Eternity and Eternity's counterpart, Death. So, in between Eternity, which is everything, and Death, which is nothing, there is Galactus, which is destruction.
I mean, I suppose it's like, as in the human, it's the balance of the world.
Yeah.
Like, we need him to balance it out in some way.
Yeah, because it stops it being binary. It's not just all or nothing now. It's like there's the in-between.
Okay, this is...
kind of fits as a character that came from another universe and crossed over, you know? It's pretty
just
good.
crosses over, you know what I mean? It's actually much deeper than you give it credit for.
Just do more cocaine and it makes a lot of sense.
Just absolutely. Do you imagine how much cocaine they were doing when writing
Oh
that?
my God.
How much Galactus... What year was Galactus' first year?
Galactus' first year, I'll get that up now.
I
had that in, but it was
early, 71.
Early doors Fantastic Four trilogy, for sure. Galactus' first appearance, Fantastic Four number 48, March 1966.
66, I'm way off. 5 years off.
And if we look up when cocaine was invented, February 1966.
Well, I mean... You know the Marvel offices were absolutely...
They had no money for filing cabinets, but plenty for snow.
Well, there was a fucking cloud.
In terms of powers and abilities, it's all of them, basically.
He's God.
Like immortality, godlike strength, stamina, speed, invulnerability, energy projection, energy absorption, force fields, levitation, size alteration, matter transmutation, teleportation, cosmic awareness, resurrection, life creation, healing powers and adapted appearance. What's real interesting is his weaknesses. So hungry. The longer he goes without feeding, the weaker and weaker he gets, to the point that he will die a regular death, which is how he's going to die at the end of the universe, because he's going to run out of stuff to eat.
Right, okay.
He was not originally a cosmic being. He was the mortal Gallon. And it has happened, and it can happen, that you can drain the power cosmic from people and he will just go back to being a regular man.
And then can you just like start kicking the shit out of him?
Yeah, you can just stab him. You can just break his neck.
You just gotta shank him.
Yeah.
I just want a scene where we starve him and then Spider-Man walks up and just shanks him, and then the problem's solved.
Just the one person Spider-Man kills is Galactus.
Yeah. He goes back on all of his things just to shank Galactus.
So he is susceptible as well to certain powerful artifacts and weapons. The Ultimate Nullifier, the Infinity Gauntlet, the Cosmic Cube, All Black the Necro Sword that Gore uses to kill gods.
All the usual, like, god-breaking, world-bending objects.
But also, interestingly, his own elemental converter. So the thing that he uses to convert the matter of planets into energy that he can consume, if that's turned on him, it'll just turn him to energy. And he'll just go back out into the universe as energy.
But then you also run the risk that he will just turn it on you when you're trying to do that.
This is also true. And then just something I thought was kind of neat. Galactus, for years and years and years, the one person he feared was Franklin Richards.
Of course.
Because Franklin Richards is a reality warper and can do anything.
He's God. He's a God.
And he could will Galactus out of existence. But now Galactus really likes Franklin Richards, because Franklin Richards is destined to do the same thing that Gallon did. In that once there's the end of the natural universe, he is going to go on into the next, because Franklin can't die.
Franklin is like the ultimate nullifier just come to life.
100%. And actually, quick aside, do you want to hear how they nerfed Franklin recently?
Go, please.
So, after they finished, at the end of Secret Wars, himself and Reed and Molecule Man make universes over and over again. And everyone says, it kind of burned out Franklin's powers and he's not as strong. He's like still a telepath and stuff, but he can't create universes. But Franklin decided, hey, I'm really tired of being this like god. So he put mental blocks on himself and everyone in the universe that he forgot the powers that he can do, except for one day a year. So every year he gets to decide whether he wants his powers back or not. Because he just wants to be a regular kid.
I mean, that is some great writing if you want to get away from the god kid.
And then be able to pull him out at any moment.
And then, I mean, Galactus shows up. We got the god kid for one day a year.
Yeah. There's a great moment, I think it's in the Annihilation Wave, where a future Franklin Richards comes out of a portal. And he's like old and war-torn and battle-scarred and shit. And he says, "To me, my Galactus." And a big fucking Galactus comes and fights for Franklin.
What? Fucking hell.
It's rad.
Oh, shit.
But that's my report on Galactus and just generally talking about Marvel cosmic bullshit.
You know what? That is the most Marvel cosmic bullshit fun we've had in a while. We used to, I think we had some merch that had Marvel cosmic bullshit on it before. Years
that was around the
ago.
time the Eternals was coming out, I think, which was
when you had to keep trying to explain what the Eternals were. If you like what you heard here, we've done hundreds of other character reports covering loads of DC and Marvel characters. If there's a character that you want us to cover, please message us on Instagram, on Facebook, on Blue Sky, and any of the socials really.
Yeah. Spotify comments as well, that's a good place to suggest characters.
Spotify comments are always really good, especially if you're going to give it the 5 stars. Give us a comment, let us know.
5 stars. Get a solstice fact for your trouble.
Get a solstice fact for your troubles, but like it's a situation where any character you want us to cover, we will then try and add them to the list and get to them. So
unless it's Rob the Space Knight, I said I'm not doing it.
Rob the Space Knight's the only one apparently that Shaun will go on against the fans, even though you help him with facts. He doesn't like you.
Hey, folks, come on, it's me. It's your old pal Shaun.
It's good guy Shaun.
You know me, you love me.
I think that's it for this week's episode, Shaun. I mean, I think the main thing is we got to tell everybody, just tell one human being that we exist.
Just the one, please.
So I've been Conor Lawler.
I've been Shaun Meehan.
And we shall see you all next week, guys.
Bye.
Bye.